What, y'all thought I was about to play some Bing Crosby? I've never even seen snow. How could I have a white Christmas? Child, it's Trini Christmas.
Oh yes, Trini, Christmas is here. Christmas is here, Christmas is here.
I'm playing, y'all know I got that Jackson 5 Mariah Carey on repeat. I don't know about y'all, but I love Christmas. Even though the actual gift getting has gotten increasingly disappointing as I've aged. Doesn't matter. I like the unity, the joy, the excitement, the colors, the food and drink. I like getting to see everybody after all the exams and projects of a semester. Just chilling, getting together and catching up. Christmas is celebrated in a variety of ways all over the world, religiously and non-religiously. In some places and households, of course, it isn't, for a variety of reasons. There are other religious and cultural observances and holidays around this time, like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. I'm most familiar with Christmas though, and I think we can see that it has some problems. I'll spare you the origins of Christmas. I think we all know about Jesus, Yule, Saturnalia, and all that jazz. This isn't a history of Christmas video, though fun fact, the Puritans banned Christmas in England in the 17th century because they didn't like all the drunkenness. Of course, it was restored, but it wasn't until the 19th century that it was reconceived, mostly by authors like Charles Dickens, as a holiday emphasizing family, children, kind-heartedness, gift-giving, and Santa Claus. I feel you all know where I'm going with this though. For many, Christmas is basically capitalism on steroids, the ultimate consumer activity, expertly crafted over generations to line the pockets of the elite. Department stores, online stores, and malls burst with profits during the Christmas season as consumption ramps up all over the world. And I mean ramps up. In America at least, 2019 saw Americans spending over $1 trillion on Christmas. Such glorious excess. In some parts of the world at least, there's a ton of overeating, overdrinking, elaborate decorating, and of course, frivolous shopping. Overindulgence is seriously harming the planet though, and having holidays with the focus being to indulge doesn't exactly help. I do think it's important to note that, like always, rich people are weighing the scales quite heavily. Plus, think about it. For poor, working class folks, Christmas is one of the few times they can really treat themselves and those they love. Can't miss that in this conversation. Not to mention, most people aren't celebrating Christmas in the way they've been told they should, yet hundreds of thousands of people sink into debt every year trying to reach that peak Christmas we're indoctrinated into believing we need to achieve. It's kind of scary, the conformity of Christmas. And what better film to demonstrate it than Christmas with the Cranks, a cult classic. With all this consumerism too, it feels as though we've lost sight of the purpose of gift giving. I don't think we've lost the selfless nature, but I do think we've lost some of the heart. And I think that's by design too. It's like our natural tendency for care is being exploited. Isn't it funny that for the rest of the year, our system expects us to act hyper-competitively in the spirit of capitalism? And yet, there's a special time where we get to act super generous and caring, but in a way that just so happens to profit capitalists anyway. Speaking of gift giving, what's up with Santa? I never grew up believing in him, and hopefully no one watching still believes in him, cause that'll be awkward, I guess. But what's up with this naughty or nice list? It's like the concept of Santa reinforces the moral worthiness of rich folks. After all, we tell kids that nice kids get gifts, so when Richie Rich gets the best gifts in town, we saying that rich folks are just more deserving. Also, Santa's in no position to arbitrate morality. He has a lot of cred for a guy who enslaves an entire species. Kind of a bad look considering there are real people who slave away in factories making the gifts, harming themselves and the environment as a result. I think a lot of my audience already knows Red Santa, right? Anarchist theorist Peter Kropotkin, who's on this video's thumbnail, was actually related to Saint Nicholas. Distantly, at least. In Russian culture, Saint Nicholas was revered as a defender of the oppressed, the weak, and the disadvantaged. Which is a good thing and something Kropotkin obviously agreed with. Old Nick used the wealth his Russian Viking family amassed to alleviate the suffering of the poor. Charity, basically. Something that is noble, but also, in a way, is a bit problematic. I actually have the bones of a script ready for my issues of charity, so I won't go too in depth here, but yikes, dog. My main issue is this. With all these soup kitchens and canned food drives and Red Cross Santas outside groceries pling-a-linging for some donations, why do we suddenly care about the plight of the poor? In a system that literally requires an impoverished base, poverty is suddenly a big deal this season. How about this? Let's think beyond the season of giving Let's think about the year-round suffering of poor folks and then get back to me. Time to do more for the homeless than a bed on Christmas Eve. We need to stop using the band-aid of charity and start using the healing balm of social transformation. 'Tis the season for overworking. Apparently the holidays are perfect for increasing worker exploitation in pursuit of profit. Some people even have to work on Christmas Day, just so the consumption never ends. Then they gotta act all cheery and filled with holiday glee, separate from their family and any kind of celebration. Speaking of family, they're kind of the focus in the culture of Christmas. But unlike the greeting cards and smug billboards, not everyone's family is picture perfect, and the holidays are often a source of opening wounds and heightened dread. Hurt people, and there's a pressure on Christmas time to bring all those hurt people together in one toxic, intoxicated Christmas celebration. The often toxic culture of Christmas is pretty bad for people's mental health. Loneliness, depression, suicide, and the struggle to care for your basic needs, let alone enjoy the season, takes a massive toll on people's well-being. Gosh, so many people are so lonely these days. For Brits, over a quarter of the population finds that Christmas has a fairly or very negative impact on their mental health. Loneliness mostly affects the older generation though, who are often widowed and without family to visit them. Honestly, there's a lot we need to reframe and reconsider around Christmas. For a season of kindness and giving, it sure does seem to hurt a lot of people. So, how do we rethink Christmas? 3 key principles come to mind: solidarity, generosity, and kinship. Despite its many flaws, period in Christmas is the principle of solidarity that we need to spread. Once we can detach the principle from Christmas alone and, organize from the bottom up, extend the principle of mutual aid into everyday life, we'll be taking a vital step towards a more humane society. Do what you can to support the people around you, from mutual aid drives to educational initiatives. Help your local artists and artisans survive. Support their work, not Bezos. I'm reminded of It's a Wonderful Life, which was investigated by the FBI for communist propaganda. I think it's a sweet film that emphasizes the importance of community, even though it's set in a pretty hellish town, almost entirely monopolized by a pig. They still manage to emulate the principle of generosity, especially at the end that tears me up every time. Time to redirect generosity from the pockets of billionaires. Like, this is a wonderful time of year to display our capacity for well-doing. And we can do better. Think more consciously about your gift giving. Think local, think DIY, think meaningful. Besides gifts, be generous with your time, your love, and your ear. We need each other. If we want the system to change, organized on the basis of giving, we have to actively create an alternative. Also, let your social life reflect your values. You're not confined by blood relations, so you can choose your own family, your chosen kin. Connect with the people you love and expand your kin network because we struggle in our chair. Like, y'all, be kind. I find everybody so tense. Now's the time to start new rituals and traditions that emphasize better values, based on care and communal bonds. Cooperate to reclaim Christmas from consumption to community. Bread Santa had some suggestions for the season too. He figured that we should all pose as Santa Claus, infiltrate the stores, and give away all the toys. The back of one postcard details Kropotkin's idea in rhyme. On the night before Christmas, we'll all be about, while the people are sleeping. We'll realize our clout. We'll expropriate goods from the stores because that's fair, and distribute them widely to those that need care. This Christmas is going to be extra tough considering the limitations of the pandemic. But I hope we can at least reflect on and expand the principles of solidarity, generosity, and kinship through our thoughts, our words, and our practice. Peace on earth and goodwill. But let it be a year-round affair now. I'm reminded of the ceasefire on Christmas Day during the First World War around 1914. Kinda sick, isn't it? They understood their common humanity, yet they were marching on the orders of those who never had to touch the dirt. All for a pointless war. If we want to build a peace that makes life on earth worth living, we have to get past our divides and seize our liberty, together. Share Christmas traditions in the comments below if you celebrate. If you don't, share what you do around this time of year. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. See you next year. I have a lot of ideas in store. Peace. Thank you for watching. I've got an extra gift for your patrons. Check my Patreon for an exclusive reading of ABC's Vanarchy by Brian Heagney. I want to do something a little cute and different to comfort you all for this different Christmas season. Thanks to my new patrons, Duke of Fall, Jeff Putney, and Concilium, And thanks once again to the family, Ongrad and Suavocado Jones. You can join these beautiful ho-ho humans and support me too on patreon.com/sainttrue. Or, if you'd like to send me a little Christmas gift of money on ko-fi.com/sainttrue, I would love that too. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with your fellow worker elves. Feed the algorithm. Check out my previous videos for other fascinating topics. You can follow me on Twitter @_sainttrue and check my monthly blog posts on Trinidadian politics and other stuff on saint-true.medium.com. Thanks again. Peace.